All right, let's talk about something a lot of us feel but maybe don't talk about enough. That sense of being financially stuck, no matter how hard you work. Today, we're going to break down why that happens and, more importantly, what you can actually do to fix it.
This gets right to the heart of it. The issue isn't some big, dramatic financial crash. Nope, it's more like an unseen enemy, a silent drain that's working in the background of our lives, and most of the time, we don't even know it's there. And this is what that feels like, right? You're putting in the work, you're earning, you're covering your bills, but you're just not getting anywhere. There's no real feeling of progress, just this constant motion of running in place. It's totally exhausting, and frankly, it's confusing.
So let's dig into this feeling of just running in place. For a lot of people, the bills are paid, there's food in the fridge. On paper, everything looks fine. But then the end of the month rolls around and there's just nothing left to show for all that work. It's this weird illusion of stability.
The reason this is so tricky to spot is because we're all looking for a burst pipe, some huge disaster. But the source material is really clear. The real issue is hiding inside these tiny little habits that feel completely normal, totally average. And because they feel so average, they just stay invisible.
So that brings us right to the core of this whole mystery. If it's not some big, obvious problem, then what in the world are these habits that are so quietly emptying our bank accounts? This section is all about putting a name to that silent drain.
Okay, let's get specific. What are these financial moves that are dressing up as just normal, everyday life, but are actually the very things holding you back? And here they are. What's kind of wild is how normal all of these sound, right? Treating leftover money as a little bonus to spend? Sure, that makes sense. Ignoring those tiny subscriptions? Nah, it's just a few bucks. Paying for something you want in installments? Upgrading your daily coffee instead of saving? Or just, avoiding the stress of looking at your bank statement? None of these feels like a huge mistake by itself. But put them all together, they create this powerful, invisible current that keeps your finances totally stuck.
Now, to really understand how these small habits create such a big problem, our source material uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor. Let's imagine your finances are like a house, but it's a house with no pipes.
But before we get to the house, we have to talk about this concept, financial autopilot. This is really the root cause of it all. It's what happens when your money is just reactive. It flows wherever the day takes it, to a convenient meal, an impulse buy, an emotional pick-me-up, all because it was never given a specific job to do in the first place. And this illustration is just perfect. Imagine your income is a big bucket of water being poured into a house. Without any pipes to direct it where to go, to the kitchen, the bathroom, a storage tank, it just spills all over the floor. It pools up in the low spots, makes puddles everywhere. That's your money on autopilot. A new subscription is a new leak, a daily treat carves out a little channel for itself, and pretty soon, the whole floor is just constantly wet.
Let's just walk through this chaotic flow. Your salary arrives. That's the water being poured in. You immediately pay bills and buy groceries, so the biggest puddles get filled first. Then come those small, harmless purchases, the food delivery, the online deal you saw. And just like that, before you even realize it, the bucket is empty and your account is hovering near zero. There was no structure at all, just a series of reactions.
Okay, so we've identified the leaks and we know why they're happening. The good news is there's a control switch. This is the big turning point, where we go from just diagnosing the problem to actually solving it. This slide just lays it all out. Look at the difference here. On the left, you've got autopilot, where your money is just reacting to whatever life throws at it. It's all guesswork, and it feels chaotic. But on the right, you have intention. Here, your money is directed. It follows a plan. So the crucial difference is you're not just letting the water spill anymore. You're starting to build the pipes. And let's be really, really clear about this. This is not about deprivation. It's not about cutting out every single thing you enjoy. It's about awareness. It's about consciously deciding what is most important to you before the money starts flowing, and then telling it to go serve those priorities. So what actually happens when you decide to install some of those pipes? Well, in our final section, we're going to get into what building that structure looks like. This is where you really take back the wheel. And honestly, it's simpler than you might think.
The very first result of building this structure isn't more money, not right away. It's this incredibly powerful feeling right here, control. This has nothing to do with earning more. It's all about finally understanding where your money is going, and even more importantly, telling it where to go next.
And from that one feeling of control, everything else just starts to follow. You're not just fighting the symptoms anymore, that constant, I feel broke feeling. You're actually fixing the source. Your financial stability starts to grow, your stress level drops, and suddenly, new options for your future begin to open up. Progress stops being this huge struggle, and it just becomes a natural outcome.
I want to leave you with this really powerful idea from the source. The mistakes that keep us stuck, they're learned quietly, just through habit and watching what others do. But that means the solution is also a skill that can be learned quietly. It's not some secret code only for the lucky few. It is a skill, and once you see it, you can learn it.
So as we wrap this up, the real question is for you. You don't have to rebuild the entire house overnight. You just have to install one small pipe. So looking back at those silent drains we talked about, what is one small leak you can find and fix starting this week?